So Cheetah Daniels Kennedy, oh my goodness. Words don't even describe how amazing she is because she speaks volume and she represents so much as an individual, and she's caring, she's noteworthy, she's generous, she's sincere, she's hilarious. There's so many words that can fit, but there's so many. She's too good for words, basically. Like, she's way too good for words, and she is a caring soul. She is remarkable. She's beyond words, and she's someone that you want to know. And I think she's so cool because she's so fascinating, most of all, because she did start drag when she was 19 years old, 20 years old, like in New York City. And she got to witness like the gay rights movement at Stonewall in New York. And she got to witness like RuPaul's like big ol' start to stardom, her fame. And she got to work with like legendary icons like Peppermint and other like famous New York queens. Like she's done her research and she has paid her dues. And she's someone that she's so fascinating. She has so many stories.
So I'm Cheetah Daniels Kennedy, socialite superstar slut. I am a hostess here at Stonewall Warehouse in San Marcos, Texas. You can catch me here every Tuesday night. Get School Tuesdays, the lip sync battle. Come see me.
For drag queen mothers, it's kind of like I learned by myself, basically through YouTube videos. I really don't have like a drag mom, like I can call like my mom, because like usually with the drag mom, they help you make costumes and hip pads and all those kind of shenanigans. And if you need any questions, but my drag mom, like right now, she's like she adopted me because she didn't help me start. I started on my own before I went, but it's Cheetah Daniels Kennedy, and I love her so much. She's so sweet. She gives me the best advice, and she definitely knows. She knows how talented I am and within, and she really just fuels my fire to keep progressing and advancing and becoming better in drag.
She lived in New York and she started drag there, so she's done so much, and I love just like listening to her talk and like tell me about her stories, all the clubs she used to work at, and like all the she used to host shows. Forgot who she hosted them with, but with this other queen in New York. And then we would talk about her drag mom, who also was in New York, and she was a bigger name in New York. And when she passed, I think it was this last semester, it was very sad. And like she was upset, but she like told us about her. And I'm just like glad, like her name was Sweetie, and like Cheetah's my sweetie now. It's like it's just very sweet.
My drag mother is a queen named Sweetie. She was very, very popular in the downtown scene. She was a boy bar beauty, which was a drag cabaret that went on for several years in the East Village. She also won a part in To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. She had one of the only speaking parts for a New York City queen, so it was kind of a big deal. And that sort of bumped her up into like the A-list of New York City drag queens. And I was lucky enough to be in a play with her, and she sort of took me under her wing, and she's my drag mama. I try to do what she does. She was all heart and feeling and acting. You know, she could stand in the middle of a stage without a death drop, without a costume reveal, and just hold any audience captive, you know. Almost everything I do today has some bit of Sweetie in it. From my look, from the way I perform, from the songs that I choose, my banter on stage, my banter right now. A lot of it comes from Sweetie. Of course, I'm adding a lot of me as well, but Sweetie was a big influence on my entire act.
My mom is so supportive. My mom is like my son. She's everything. I'm so thankful for my mom and my stepdad, because not everyone has that. Especially like Sandy and Cherry both don't have that.
Do you think Cheetah kind of plays that role for them at all? Or?
Absolutely. That's the thing about drag and like drag families, because like there are drag families. It's like super like complex. It's like grandmas and aunts and sisters, and like Cherry's my sister, and we joke that Sandy's my daughter because I like helped her with like her makeup, and Tequila Rose helped her with her clothes. So like we're her moms and Sandy's our daughter, and Cheetah's my mom, so that makes Cheetah his grandma. But yeah, the thing about drag families is like you kind of pick and choose who those family members are. It's like you don't get to pick your real family, but like in this scene, in this world, you do get to pick your family, which is like super important because like not everyone has like a Cheetah Daniels in real life like I do. So I feel like I have two moms, and some people just have one, and that's Cheetah.
Aren't these girls and boys great? Aren't they? Or whatever they are. Who cares? We love gender fuckery here. We really, really do. My sisters always knew and were always really supportive about it. And when I started getting more and more gigs and it started becoming a bigger part of my life, I found it hard to talk to my mother on the phone if I didn't tell her what was going on, because it was really all consuming. And when I started telling her about it, she wasn't that excited about it. She even wrote me a letter, you know, kind of saying that she didn't really want me to get, you know, in the habit of wearing dresses. I was like, I'll wear mini skirts then. No, it took a while, you know, and there's still struggles even today, you know, but she's come a long way. My dad has too. I mean, my mother comes to shows, and my dad's seen me before as well. So, you know, I think that their concern is still safety and things like that. So I think that there's still some anxiousness around it for them, but for the most part they do support me, and they understand that I'm an artist. And I tell the girls all the time when they're nervous about telling their parents, it's gonna get better, you know. You pull your parents along, kind of, you know. Of course they don't understand it. You're opening their mind, you know. You're giving them a bigger field of knowledge, you know. So you have to tell them, and eventually they'll come around. They might not like it in the beginning, but so what? You know, you gotta live your life, you know, and once if they see that you're happy and you're well adjusted and, you know, you're doing good things, they're gonna support you, you know, because all parents want to support that. They want you to be happy and be loved, and, you know.
Like a nice way.
Well, you know, the dynamic here is I'm the mother here, and we have some aunties as well, Miss Brianna St. James and my sister Gia, and they're like mothers as well. You know, I think that probably some of the girls might feel a little closer to Brianna for whatever, you know, just because of the way things are, you know. But most of the new girls that have come to Stonewall have all come through me, you know, and they all call me mama, you know, and it's one of the oldest traditions of drag, to have that sort of dynamic, because so many people lose their family when they come out as gay, or if they come out as trans, or if they come out as a drag performer, and this is your chosen family. You find the people who are going to be your support group. Well, drag it's total freedom of expression. Drag is punk rock. Even if you're trying to do it really, really pretty, because, you know, you're going against, you know, social norms. You know, you're calling into question what's a man, what's a woman. Drag is fun. Drag is the hardest thing you'll ever endeavor to do. The time and the sacrifice that you make to get yourself ready, and to, you know, there's a sacrifice financially, there's a sacrifice emotionally, because you don't oftentimes get to see some of your friends. You know, you're often performing and getting ready for a performance, so you can't just run off to the movies, or you have to make that outfit, or you have to go shopping for those things, you know. So it is not without its, you know, hard work. I mean, there was an uptick almost immediately after the election. One of my girls, you know, got attacked right over here on LBJ after a party. It was the weekend after the election. It was that Saturday night, and she was walking home and she got attacked. And what was really interesting about that is I remember leaving that night, and I'm never afraid to walk by myself. I'm from San Marcos. I cannot tell you how many times I've walked down LBJ in my life. And that night, I thought to myself, you know what, girl, you shouldn't be walking alone. And I ran and I caught up to some friends that were ahead of me, got in my car and I drove home. And as I was driving home, I was like, that's fucked up. I was like, this is your town. You don't need to be afraid to walk down LBJ in front of Paper Bear. I was like, that pissed me off so bad. And then I got a message about one of my girls who've been attacked. You know, it made national news too. I don't know if y'all were aware of that. You know, Miss Scarlett Fatale. She wasn't even in full drag. She was like wearing high heels and like makeup. You know, and you know, in the scale of things, you know, she got away very. You know, she was very lucky. You know, she was still hurt. So I can't hate that frat boy in the light Wranglers who's wearing the same shirt that all of his buddies are wearing. I have to somehow bridge that gap. It has to happen on this level, you know? So if I see one of those guys walk up in here, I'm always gonna go over and greet him. Thank you for coming. Oh my God, you know, I want him to know that this place is for everyone, you know? If someone is going to engage me in a, you know, more aggressive way, you know, I'm gonna try to neutralize it, you know, somehow, you know. I don't want to be fighting. And I think that that's something that we don't talk about enough. It's little steps with some people. And you've got to keep it open for them so you can make the bigger change overall. You know, it's about picking your battles, to where to put your energy, you know. And I think right now everyone's just fighting to fight about a lot of things, you know, and sometimes we're turning against each other within our own community, and I think that's bad. So I try to, you know, really, really, really think about it before I start making a huge statement on something, you know. And also, it's also always sort of like thoughtful and wanting people to make their own decisions about it, you know, as well, rather than telling people, you've got to do this.
And then I have one question.
Okay,
What's
sure.
the future for Cheetah?
You know, I don't go about things with an end game. One of my personal mottos and something that I tell myself all the time is just keep going, Cheetah. Just keep going. So that's what's in my future. I'm just going to keep going.